Today we're going to be looking at a 2014 F-150 that's displaying a wrench symbol in the instrument cluster. Now the customer is also complaining that the vehicle loses power and won't come off idle until the engine is shut off and restarted when this occurs. And I'm going to be starting diagnosis today by pulling codes, and I'm going to be using a Ford IDS scan tool. We have a P2112 Throttle Actuator control system stuck closed. Now this code really doesn't mean that the throttle is stuck closed. P2112 sets if the measured throttle angle, and that's determined by the signal to the PCM from the throttle position sensors on the throttle. But if the measured throttle angle is more than 6 degrees lower than what the PCM is commanding the throttle to be at, basically the throttle is reading lower than what it should for what the PCM is commanding. And when it sees that, it flags this code. Now when the PCM flags this code, or really any throttle related code, it's going to turn on the mill light, it's going to display a wrench symbol in the instrument cluster, and it's also going to enter failure mode effects management. Basically it's going to lock the engine down to a limp home mode, which is just above idle. But if you cycle the key off and then restart the engine, normal operation will return until it sees the fault occur again, and then you'll be locked down to just above idle again. So let's take a look at the freeze frame data and kind of get a feel for when the fault occurred. Looks like the vehicle was under a 75% load. The engine coolant temp was 143 degrees, so this was shortly after startup. It was at 1800 RPM and 47 miles an hour. Intake air temperature was 17 degrees, but it is winter here in the Midwest, so that's probably right. Runtime was about 3 minutes, looks like. So let's go to Data Logger and look at some PIDs and see if we can get a better idea for what's going on with this vehicle. And I'm using a Ford IDS scan tool today, but you could look at these same PIDs with 4Scan or even 4Scan Lite on a phone or a tablet. Let's go back and clear the codes from the PCM real quick, because I'm going to set this up as a capture event so that if the fault occurs while we're reviewing it, it makes a recording. And we'll jump back to our PIDs. As you can see here, one of the PIDs I've taken is DTC count, and it's currently reading 0. So I'm going to set this up as a trigger to make a 15-second video of what all the PIDs are reading at the time a fault occurs. We're going to set the upper limit to 0. I'll go ahead and drag this down as quicker. We're going to go ahead and set it to auto capture, and I'm going to select beep so that the scan tool makes an audible beep when the condition is flagged. That way, if I'm driving it and not paying attention to the screen on the scan tool, I'm aware that a fault has occurred and it did make a recording. And I'm going to set it to transition so it starts recording the instant the DTC count transitions from 0 to 1 or more than 0. And you'll notice the text box for DTC count is now green. If a fault occurs, or if our transition event occurs to where it flags a recording, that's going to change to red, and we'll get the audible beep that we turned on. And one last thing, I've got more PIDs on the screen in graph mode than I have room on the screen for. So I'm going to go ahead and change RPM to a text box at the top of the screen, and that should get all our PIDs we have in graph mode on the screen at one time. So everything looks good now. I think we are ready to take this for a test drive and try and get the fault to reoccur. So at the exact time the wrench came on the dash, the scan tool beeped, it flagged a code, and it made a recording of like 10 seconds before the event and 5 after. And if you look at this, you can see I was fairly steady on the throttle. We were driving along at a steady state cruise, and all of a sudden the throttle closed on the vehicle. And it closed very sharply. Usually your throttle is a fairly smooth sweep. It doesn't instantly slam open or shut. It's a fairly smooth sweep, a little bit smoother than that. That's kind of a sharp action. I'm going to change the difference between the two throttle position sensors into a graph mode. I just want to take a look at that and see if there's any change in that at the same time that this occurred. And there's not. It's pretty steady all the way through. You can rule out a power or ground issue to either of the throttle position sensors because they go in opposite directions. So if there was a power or ground issue to them, one would be reading open and the other would be reading closed, as the voltage dropped or the resistance increased, either way. So really it looks like the throttle actuator itself, whether it's just getting weak or whatever, is letting the return spring close the throttle, and when that gets about more than 6% off from where it's commanding the throttle to be, we're flagging our throttle stuck closed code and limiting the vehicle to high idle or limp home mode, and all the things that the customer says is occurring are. Now if something like this does happen and you get stuck to a limp home mode where it just comes off idle and that's about it, all you have to do is shut the key off and restart the engine and you'll have normal throttle operation, at least until it occurs again. And I'm going to blow up our throttle position sensors a little bigger here just to look at this a little closer as to what happened. You can see it's before the fault happened. Our DTC hasn't set yet. It's still green up there, and it was shutting the throttle ahead of that. It's not that the PCM commanded the throttle to shut. It was dropping off for no reason before that, and that's what flagged the code. If I bump this video ahead just a little, we can see the exact second right there. So you can see the throttle was already closing before it flagged the code or the issue. So the throttle closed and it flagged the code. Now I've got a couple more recordings of the throttle body on this vehicle I'm going to show you here today, because this is one of the worst throttle bodies I've ever seen. In this first one you can see here I'm driving along at a steady state throttle, and the throttle opens a little and then sharply closes, and it does this twice, and then on the third time it goes a little further and finally flags a code. This next one, the engine isn't even running and I'm just easing on and off the throttle, and you can see I lightly let off the throttle and you can see how sharply the throttle closed, and then it kind of bounced back repeatedly like it's having trouble holding its position. This last one, the engine's still not running, and you can see here I let off the throttle a little, and I'm not sure what the throttle was trying to do here. The throttle is easily accessible on the 3.5 EcoBoost. It's right out in front. One hose clamp and 4 screws. Takes about 5 or 10 minutes to change. So I'm going to go ahead and change the throttle body here and replace it with a new one, and then we're going to take a look and see if that fixed our problem. So let's look at the PIDs again with the new throttle body installed. And I haven't started the engine yet. We're at 0 RPM. I'm mashing and releasing the accelerator pedal, and you can see here the throttle is pretty much matching it. No bouncing around or erratic motion, it's just smoothly following along. I'm going to go ahead and release the accelerator pedal, and we're going to start the engine and take it for a drive. Now one thing you may notice on EcoBoost engines that seems a little strange, but it is normal, is the throttle may move around some without you changing the position of the accelerator pedal. The thing you have to remember about EcoBoost engines is that the throttle plate is the main thing used to regulate the boost to the engine. There are wastegates, but those aren't opened unless they have to be, because it slows down the turbos and it takes time to spool them back up, or as you usually hear it referred to, turbo lag. So we try to avoid opening the wastegates and slowing down the turbos. Now there's also bypass valves, but those are mainly to relieve the pressure under high load, high boost conditions when you suddenly come off the throttle and the butterfly slams shut. The thing you really notice here in this video compared to the PIDs when we were watching it earlier is just how much smoother the throttle moves and how much smoother the transitions are under normal driving. I hope you found this video helpful or interesting. If you did, please click the like button down below. I got a lot more great stuff coming up, so please subscribe. And as always, have a great week.